scary stories to tell in the dark bit by bit. Videos will come out on Saturdays, and with the final one coming out on Halloween. So I hope you enjoy it. If you want to hear more stories, let me know. I plan to do book 2 and book 3 for next year and the year after that. So without further ado, let us begin. So here is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Today we'll be reading Chapter 1. So this is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, collected from folklore and retold by Alvin Schwartz, with drawings by Stephen Gamble. If I'm not pronouncing names correctly, please tell me and I will try to adjust. So this book is dedicated to Dinah. Here's the picture. I'm not sure why there would be like a wheelchair here. Is Dinah in a wheelchair? Does she want that to be publicly known? Is that okay? We begin with the introduction to the book as a whole. Strange and scary things. Pioneers used to entertain themselves by telling scary stories at night. They might gather in somebody's cabin or around a fire and see who could scare the others the most. Some girls and boys, and those who are either or neither, in my town do the same thing today. They get together at somebody's house and they turn out the lights and eat popcorn and scare one another half to death. Telling scary stories is something people have done for thousands of years. For most of us, like being scared in that way. Since there isn't any danger, we think it's fun. There are a great many scary stories to tell. There are ghost stories. There are tales of witches, devils, boogeymen, zombies, and vampires. There are tales of monstrous creatures and of other dangers. There even are stories that make us laugh at all this scariness. Some of these tales are very old and they are told around the world, and most have the same origins. They are based on things that people saw or heard or experienced or thought they did. Many years ago, a young prince became famous for a scary story he started to tell but did not finish. His name was Mamelius, and he probably was 9 or 10 years old. William Shakespeare told about him in The Winter's Tale. It was on a dark winter's day that his mother, the queen, asked him for a story. A sad tale's best for winter, he said. I have one of sprites and goblins. Do your best to frighten me with sprites, she said. You're powerful at it. I shall tell it softly, he said. Yon cricket shall not hear it. And he began. There was a man dwelt by a churchyard, but that was as far as he got, for at that moment the king came in and arrested the queen and took her away, and soon after that Mamelius died. No one knows how he would have finished the story. If you stir it as he did, what would you tell? So you mean to tell me that this young boy only got one sentence out and then his mother was taken away and killed? That is so sad. Oh my gosh. Most scary stories are, of course, meant to be told. They are more scary that way, but how you tell them is important. As Mamelius knew, the best way is to speak softly so that your listeners lean forward to catch your words, and to speak slowly so that your voice sounds scary. And the best time to tell these stories is at night. In the dark and the gloom, it is easy for someone listening to imagine all sorts of strange and scary things. This chapter is filled with jump stories you can use to make your friends jump with fright. Let's see the picture here. The big toe. A boy was digging at the edge of the garden when he saw a big toe. He tried to pick it up, but it was stuck to something, so he gave it a good hard jerk, and it came off in his hand. Then he heard something groan and scamper away. The boy took the toe into the kitchen and showed it to his mother. "It looks nice and plump," she said. "I'll put it in the soup and we'll have it for supper." That night, his father carved the toe into 3 pieces. And here's a picture of the boy with the toe. Then they did the dishes, and when it got dark, they went to bed. The boy fell asleep almost at once, but in the middle of the night, a sound awakened him. It was something out in the street. It was a voice, and it was calling to him. "Where is my toe?" he groaned. When the boy heard that, he got very scared, but he thought, "It doesn't know where I am. It will never find me." Then he heard the voice once more, only now it was closer. "Where is my toe?" it groaned. The boy pulled the blankets over his head and closed his eyes. "I'll go to sleep," he thought. "When I wake up, it'll be gone." But soon he heard the back door open, and again he heard the voice. "Where is my toe?" he groaned. Then the boy heard footsteps move through the kitchen into the dining room, into the living room, into the front hall. Then slowly they climbed the stairs. Closer and closer they came. Soon they were in the upstairs hall. Now they were outside his door. "Where is my toe?" it groaned. His door opened. Shaking with fear, he listened as the footsteps slowly moved through the dark toward his bed. Then they stopped. "Where is my toe?" the voice groaned. "You've got it." At this point, pause, then jump at the person next to you and shout, "You've got it." Oh, the big toe also has another ending. When the boy hears the voice calling for its toe, he finds a strange-looking creature up inside the chimney. The boy is so frightened he can't move. He just stands there and stares at it. Finally he asks, "What you got such big eyes for?" And the creature answers, "To look you through and through." "What you got such big claws for?" "To scratch up your grave." "What you got such a big mouth for?" "To swallow you whole." "What you got such sharp teeth for?" "To chomp your bones." The walk. My uncle was walking down a lonely dirt road one day. He came upon a man who also was walking down that road. The man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was scared of my uncle, and my uncle was scared of that man. But they kept on walking, and it began to get dark. The man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was very scared of my uncle, and my uncle was very scared of that man. But they kept on walking, and they came to a big woods. It was getting darker, and the man looked at my uncle, and the uncle looked at the man. The man was really scared of my uncle, and my uncle was really scared of the man. But they kept on walking, and deep down into the woods they went. It was getting darker, and the man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was terribly scared of my uncle, and my uncle was terribly scared of Here's the picture. Now those look like some creepy woods, huh? attached themselves to the feet. Then a body tumbled down, then 2 arms, the man's head. As the old woman watched, the parts came together in a great, gangling man. The man danced around the room and around the room. Faster and faster he went. Then he stopped and he looked her in the eyes. "What do you come for?" she asked in a small voice that shivered and shook. "What do I come for? I come for you." Here's the picture. There was a haunted house where every night a bloody head fell down the chimney. At least that's what people said. So nobody would stay there overnight. But a rich man offered $200 to whoever would do it, and this boy said he would try if he could have his dog with him. So it was all settled. They're not gonna kill the dog, are they? They better not kill the dog in this, I swear. If they kill the dog in this story, I will be very upset. Okay? The very next night, the boy went to the house with his dog. To make it more cheerful, he started a fire in the fireplace. Then he sat in front of the fire and waited, and his dog waited with him. Here's the picture. For a while, nothing happened, but a little after midnight, he heard someone singing softly and sadly in the woods. The singing sounded something like this. Me time toady walker. It's just somebody singing, a boy told himself, but he was frightened. Then his dog answered the song. Softly and singing. Softly and sadly it sang. The boy could not believe his ears. His dog had never uttered a word before. Then a few minutes later, he heard the singing again. Now it was closer and louder, but the words were the same. Me tidody walker. This time, the boy tried to stop his dog from answering. He was afraid that whoever was singing would hear it and come after them. But his dog paid no attention, and again it sang, Linchy, kinchy, goly, moly, dingo, dingo. A half hour later, the boy heard the singing again. Now it was in the backyard, and the song was the same. Me tidody walker. Again, the boy tried to keep his dog quiet, but the dog sang out louder than ever. Linchy, kinchy, goly, moly, dingo, dingo. Soon the boy heard the singing again. Now it was coming down the chimney. Me tidody walker. The dog sang right back. Linchy, kinchy, goly, moly, dingo, dingo. Suddenly a bloody head fell out of the chimney. It missed the fire and landed right next to the dog. The dog took one look and fell over, dead from fright. Are you kidding me? They killed the dog. The head turned and stared at the boy slowly and opened its mouth and, you turned to one of your friends and screamed. I don't like this one. I know it's probably like a classic scary story to tell in the dark, but I don't like killing of animals. I just don't. That's a me thing. A man who lived in Leeds. Some say this rhyme doesn't mean anything. Others are not so sure. There was a man who lived in Leeds. He filled his garden full of seeds, and when the seeds began to grow, it was like a garden filled with snow. But when the snow began to melt, it was like a ship without a belt. And when the ship began to sail, it was like a bird without a tail. And when the bird began to fly, it was like an eagle in the sky. And when the sky began to roar, it was like a lion at my door. And when the door began to crack, it was like a penknife in my back. And when my back began to bleed, I was dead, dead, dead indeed. you're supposed to drop your voice and then turn out the lights and then jump at your friends. Are you scared? Am I scaring you? I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're nestled up somewhere all cozy listening to some scary stories. Okay, so now we're going to read Old Woman, All Skin and Bone. And there is some music here. Unfortunately, I did not pay attention in choir class, so I cannot read this music. However, my partner was part of this professional choir group for, I want to say, 3 years. And he can sing so beautifully. And I can sing not professionally, but I can keep a tune. So, unfortunately, he is not here right now, so he cannot tell me how to sing this tune. So I'm just going to sing it to the best of my ability. There was an old woman, all skin and bone, who lived near the graveyard all alone. Ooh. There was an old woman, all skin and bone, who lived near the graveyard all alone. Ooh. I don't think I'm singing it right to you. I'll show you the picture and you'll have to tell me if I'm singing it right. I don't think I am. Old woman, all skin and bone. There was an old woman, all skin and bone, who lived near the graveyard all alone. Oh. She thought she'd go to church one day to hear the parson preach and pray. Oh. And when she came to the church house style, she thought she'd stop and rest a while. Oh. But when she turned and looked around, she saw a corpse upon the ground. Oh. From its nose down to its chin, the worms crawled out and the worms crawled in. The woman to the preacher said, "Shall I look like that when I am dead?" The preacher to the woman said, "You'll look like that when you are dead." Ah. So here's the picture. If you know how to read music and can sing that, please go to TikTok and tag me or something, because I feel bad. So that was chapter 1, of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I hope you liked it, and I hope you just feel a little bit scared and a little bit freaked out, but are also very nuzzled up. And I hope you have a very happy Halloween, or whatever you celebrate during